Titus wanted two things to be known. One, praise the Emperor, and two, Codex Astartes is cringe. When you start Space Marine 1, you're approaching a forge world that's being overrun by orcs. You, Titus, and your two friends, Sonatus and Leandros, have to secure the Titans. Given that you're late to the party, orcs have already taken over artillery, and they're shooting down the ship. First idea Titus has is to go against everything Codex Astartes has to say. Gets in a jump pack, and flies down to the bottom. You're then reunited with Leandros, and eventually Sonatus. Of course, Leandros has a couple things to say about how you're not following the Codex Astartes, but Titus will continuously tell him it's a guideline, like a speed limit. Now, I'm not here just to talk about Space Marine 1, but why you should play Space Marine 1, at least before you play Space Marine 2, or if you had already played Space Marine 2, it'd be a good thing to go ahead and stop by and play. What I feel Space Marine 1 has to offer, other than orcs just being awesome to encounter, is that you get this, I don't know, part 2 of Titus's career. He's already a captain, and obviously with Space Marine 2, there's a lot of nuances that happen. The game is roughly 6 hours, give or take, and I really think it holds up to this day. I had a lot of fun replaying it recently, and I would definitely play it again. I just feel that with the hype of Space Marine 2 going around, people are really forgetting their roots. Space Marine 1 really set the foundation for Space Marine 2, and you really do see it when you're playing the game. It's a lot of fun, and you get more of an understanding on how Titus thinks. And then you get to see him in Space Marine 2, and you see how all the things he encountered in 1 really do affect his mentality in Space Marine 2. The gameplay in 1 honestly still holds up to this day. The upgrades come at decent times, and you can really go back and forth with whatever guns you find. When you die, there's so many times where you can just say, hey, bolt gun didn't work for me here, I need something with more power. Pull up a melta-gun. I need more range. I get stalker bolter. And I just like all of those things. Other than one thing. I'm really mad that I can't use half my weapons when I have the hammer. It makes sense, but it really does upset me. Not really. The hammer's pretty cool. I want to take a second to talk about the characters. Titus, obviously the main character. I feel like could have a lot more character development. He kind of just is Titus the entire game, but you get an understanding on how he thinks. The Codex Astartes and the Emperor he respects greatly, but he knows that there's a lot of room for improvement. So he kind of uses it as a guidance, rules. Unlike his friend Leandros, the bubble-blowing baby of the group, who says things like, the Codex Astartes doesn't support this action, or Codex Astartes doesn't suggest you jump out of a plane with a jump pack. You know, lame stuff. Sonatus is just an old man in power armor, and it really is a badass experience. Speaking of badasses, there's also Miranda, the Imperial Guard commander. That's the only commander because everyone else died. And then there's the Inquisition, Drogon. I honestly don't know much about Drogon, and your experiences with him are not really memorable or about him at all. But back to the story. You need to secure the Titans. As you're going through killing orcs, you run into Drogon. Drogon helps you retrieve the power source, and for whatever reason, you're able to hold it. You eventually find the Titan, and it can't be run. Not enough people. So, you have to buy time. And by buy time, I mean kill orcs until it's time to be ran. Then, bring the power source to it, and get one shot off. There it is. That's all it's for. Unfortunately, this power source has chaos infused in it, made by it. And Leandros takes note on how you're somehow able to hold on to it. If you have played Space Marine 2, you know that Titus has an innate resistance to chaos. And with the resistance to chaos, Leandros kind of tattletales on Titus. That's why we have Space Marine 2, and why he is where he is, and why he is no longer a captain. Leandros, your mom's a hoe. My final thoughts are that you should play Space Marine 1. If you already played Space Marine 2, you'll still enjoy it. If you haven't played Space Marine 2, you'll enjoy it maybe even more. And that's all I have for you today. Have a good one.